All the way from rats cooking, toys fighting, cars with big eyes, demon babies, monsters that just want to appear on TV, to dead wives, depressed kids. Man, this got dark way too fast. Wasn't this supposed to be fun? It's been a while now since I want to catch up with the latest Pixar movies, but I just don't seem to have the stomach to do so, which is weird because we're talking about a kids movies company, right? But the same company that did a bunch of movies with toys goofing around, insects acting like adults, monsters with a big heart. Now the studio is becoming somewhat of a therapy session, made just for adults to cry, while their kids are just hypnotized by the vibrant colors. And I can't help but wonder, a studio this big, owned by Disney, has to have a reason for this, right? Right? Maybe the young children that used to watch Pixar movies have grown and have kids on their own now. And since they're not being able to catch up a new audience, they just started doing adult movies. No, not this type of adult movies though. It seems like these movies, they just have an outside layer of kids content. And they just became entertainment for adults. And at the same time, they make the parents feel good for taking their kids to the movies and being good parents. But even if they do serve such a purpose, do we like being lectured in such movies? Seems that not so much. And maybe if you're trying to be a good parent, when the time comes for you to choose a toy in the store, you will choose the one that you think at least has taught something meaningful to your kids, right? Even though your kids just probably want something related to Minecraft or something that kids do watch on YouTube Kids nowadays. I have no idea what it is. At this point, we all heard this theory that Disney just produced content to sell toys, so I'm gonna focus on something less economic, but maybe even more dystopic, is that this generation might be so deep in their own drama, juggling anxiety, depression, a bad economy, never being able to buy a house, diplomas that are worth nothing on the job market, AI being a greater artist than you'll ever be, having to face a real job while it seems like that the rest of the world is just creating some meaningless content and making millions online. I just wrote anxiety and depression in the script, so can we just stuck with that for now? So maybe this is the only thing that they can connect, is maybe this is the only thing that can catch their attention, talking about those very deep feelings. And maybe Pixar is just coming out as a friend and giving you the therapy session that you cannot afford. But probably if you add the popcorn and the tickets, it gets more expensive than real therapy, so I would recommend professional help. Okay? So can someone tell me why Pixar movies are so sad? And yes, Jim, it was always sad, I can give you that, but they became quite hardcore, right? Like watching a kid slowly getting depressed. Isn't that too much? So now that we goof around, it's time to get serious. I'm talking about analysis, I'm talking about the juice. Let's get something to work with, cause it's more theory time. So my theory here is that they got addicted to their own craft, trying to go deeper every time, make it more sentimental, hit a better music beat, enhance character relatability, and making their animations more and more expressive, to a point where it's not even about reality anymore, it's just about emotions on steroids. And let's be real, I love these movies, but they all must have the same pitch meeting, right? What if a kid was sad? What if a bunch of toys were sad? What if the personification of happiness itself were sad? Wouldn't you like that? I think you got my point. I get very annoyed that these kids movies, they hit a very deep place in my soul, way deeper than all these adult animations out there. Let's take one for example, my favorite, South Park. It can tackle some quite harsh themes sometimes, like the pain of growing up or seeing a long-time friendship fall apart, but it still completely serves as a way for you to de-stress and relax and shut your brain down and not think about anything. While these kids movies uncover every part of my childhood trauma that took me years to repress. I mean, people normally complain, and I got myself included here, that movies like Marvel don't have enough consequences or even blood, making it feel washed out and weightless and pointless. But Pixar on the other hand, whew, we got some consequences for you, man. Oh, you forgot to play with your toy? That's okay, that's just inflicting infinite amount of trauma and sorrow. That might be too much consequence, right? So are Pixar movies even needed? I mean, they are a beacon for 3D animation, they have flawless art direction, and they even serve as a way for you to measure the state of the technology. But are those sad stories in disguise of empathy lessons needed? Do we need that? Do we need to learn that you need to have empathy for others? Or could be Pixar just aggravating the depression epidemic that we live in today? Maybe portraying life as if it was doomed to sadness, that your toy will hate you no matter what you do, that you will be a sad kid, And even if you could escape the rabbit hole and live a happy life, you will end up as a sad old man. It's like they're telling you that no matter what you do, life will happen and life is sad. So shut up and buy some merch. So if you're like me, that makes you feel like, what's next for Pixar? What is the next frontier? Will they tackle some other themes, or it will just get sadder and sadder? Lucky for you, I have a list with their next releases. Buttless chairs. An old chair that no one wants to sit on anymore, so now it is seeking the last feel of a butt. The Last Spark, a discarded light bulb looking for a new purpose in the dark. And of course the ethnic favorite Croissanity, a croissant that loses its mind when people start filling it with Nutella. This is a French thing, right? As a disclaimer, I think you should take everything I said with a grain of salt. I still love Pixar, I just think that maybe, just maybe, they could lighten it up a little bit. And while they work on that, bye.